We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare at hand, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our prosperity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
There are many different types of power that was given to the Constitution, whether that be enumerated or implied. An example of enumerated power is the right for Congress to declare war, and an example of an implied power is a Supreme Court case that is Roe versus Wade. There is a reason why the Constitution was written. It was because the Articles of Confederation has glaring flaws such as the lack of power to collect taxes and also the inability to resolve tensions between states, just to name a few.
Due to the government's inability to tax, introduce tariffs, and the absence of a military under the Articles of Confederation, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution, known as the Bill of Rights, ratified in 1791, granted the government those powers and protected the individual liberties in the process.
The 11th Amendment stated that a person cannot sue a state that they do not live in, but they can, however, sue federal agencies, as this was shown in the Supreme Court case Brown v. Board of Education. The 12th Amendment stated that the Electoral College can only vote once for a president and a vice president.
Essentially, Bailey v. Alabama was a Supreme Court case that decided an African American man's innocence in the matter of involuntary servitude, which was abolished along with slavery in the 13th Amendment.
Well, I don't want to survive. I want to live.
The amendment details that each person born or naturalized in the United States will not be deprived of their rights. Court cases such as Roe v. Wade, Plessy v. Ferguson, Brown v. Board of Education, and Gideon v. Ohio all complement the 14th Amendment by ensuring that each person is granted equal rights. The 15th gives rights to all citizens to vote and not let their voting right be infringed on by any means. The amendment was originally proposed to give the right to vote to African Americans, but court cases such as Gwynn v. United States v. Reese have protected those rights from literacy tests and discrimination.
Congress gets to collect tax from our income so they can have a budget to make our country better without taking it from each state, which would be unequal, like Polak v. Farmers Loan and Trust Company.
You got my money?
Huh? Oh, yeah, I'll pay you soon.
Yeah, well,
Oh, my God!
Ratified in 1913 under the Wilson's administration, the 17th Amendment granted citizens within each state the right to vote for their senator. This fixed the issue of state legislatures being corrupted by special interest groups to make a decision on what senator to elect.
The 18th Amendment of the United States Constitution effectively established the prohibition of alcoholic beverages in the United States by declaring the production, transport, and sale of alcohol illegal. The separate Volstead Act set down methods for enforcing this amendment. The 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution prohibits any United States citizen from being denied the right to vote on the basis of sex. This amendment was the culmination of the women's suffrage movement in the United States, which fought national levels to achieve the vote.
20th Amendment is the terms of President and Congress. The 20th Amendment moves the date that newly elected presidents and members of Congress take office close to election time. The President takes office January 20th, and Congress takes office January 3rd. It is also called the Lame Duck Amendment. The 21st Amendment is the repeal of the 18th Amendment. The 18th Amendment was the prohibition of alcohol. This amendment was passed because there were too many speakeasies, and even though Congress tried to enforce alcohol laws, people would still sneak in alcohol.
After FDR served a total of 3 terms through 1933 to 1945, because of World War II and the Great Depression, the 22nd Amendment was ratified in 1946 under Truman's administration, restricting the president's power from serving more than 2 terms.
To the United States Constitution, the 23rd Amendment extends the right to vote in the presidential election to citizens residing in the District of Columbia by granting the district electors in the Electoral College as if it was a state.
The 24th Amendment abolished the poll tax. Poll taxes was created during the late 19th century by southern states to prevent African Americans and poor whites from voting. However, opposition remained strong over the next several decades, and the combined efforts of the Civil Rights Movement and President Lyndon B. Johnson led to the ratification in 1964. The 25th Amendment established presidency succession. If the president dies or resigns, the vice president will take over. If the vice president dies or resigns, the president will appoint a new vice president after they are approved by Congress. The 26th Amendment lowered the voting age from 21 to 18. It started when the draft age was lowered to 18 during World War II, but the voting age remained the same. The debate intensified during the Vietnam War with the slogan "Old enough to fight, old enough to vote," and was ratified in 1971.
To the Constitution, the 27th Amendment prohibits any laws that increase or decrease the salary of members of Congress from taking effect until the start of the next set of term of office for representatives.